It's 10:47 p.m. and Sarah is on the floor of her rental in Brunswick, bank app open, staring at her savings balance. $15,218. She's added $200 a fortnight since she was 23, never missed a month. Last month's interest hit 3 days ago, $6.17. She's doing everything the bank told her to do, and her reward is half a sandwich. Her rent's jumped twice in 2 years. Her grocery bill's up $40 a week, and the apartment deposit that felt ambitious now feels fictional. The question she asks herself isn't angry. It's exhausted. Is this actually working? Right now, thousands of young Australians are asking the same thing and landing on a very different answer. Exchange-traded funds, the thing their mates used to call share market gambling, are quietly replacing savings accounts as the default parking spot for their future. Not because young people are chasing risk, because the maths has flipped so completely that even the best savings account has become a guaranteed slow leak. Nobody tells you this. The best savings rate on savings.com.au is 5.75%. But only if you hit every bonus condition. Miss one, and you drop below 2. Inflation is 3.8%, says the ABS, and your interest is taxed at your marginal rate. Earn 70 grand and 32.5 cents of every interest dollar goes to the ATO. Your real return after tax and inflation is barely above zero. The Australian share market has averaged around 9% a year long term, and the tax rules are kinder. That gap is why young Australians are quietly quitting savings accounts. Part 1. The bonus rate treadmill. Every high-interest savings account works the same way. A low base rate, often below 1%, and a bonus rate you only get if you meet conditions each month. Savings.com.au shows the top ongoing bonus rate is 5.75%, but most Australians miss the bonus at least twice a year because life gets in the way. Compare Josh and Priya, both 28. Josh keeps 15 grand in a bonus saver and religiously meets every condition. Priya moves the same 15 grand into VAS, via Perla. After 10 years, Josh earns around 4 to 5% interest before tax. After 32.5% tax and 3.8% inflation, his real purchasing power actually slips backwards. Priya's ETF grows at roughly 8%, dividends rise, and she never worries about bonus hoops. The difference is thousands, not hundreds. But Priya also unlocks a tax advantage later that Josh never will, which we will get to in Part 3. For now, ask yourself, how many months have you already lost the bonus rate without noticing? Part 2. The inflation tax. You can't outrun. Inflation silently makes your cash worth less each year. The ABS says CPI hit 3.8% in early 2025. And that understates what you feel because rents and insurance are climbing faster. Even if you earn the full 5.75% bonus rate, after tax at 32.5% and inflation, your real return is barely positive. Think about it. If your weekly grocery shop costs $200 today, next year it costs around $208. Your $15,000 savings pot buys less of everything. Meanwhile, the companies inside an ASX 200 ETF own assets that tend to rise with prices, and their dividends have historically grown close to inflation. So your income stream expands while the savings account interest stays flat and gets taxed. One path slowly protects your buying power, the other guarantees erosion. But inflation is only half the story. The tax treatment gap makes it worse, and that is exactly what we unpack next. Part 3. Why the tax office prefers. You invest interest is taxed at your full marginal rate. Capital gains on shares held over 12 months are taxed on only half the gain. The ATO deliberately rewards long-term investing. Take two Australians earning $75,000 in the 32.5% bracket. One earns $2,000 in savings interest and owes $650 tax. The other sells ETF units for a $2,000 capital gain after holding 18 months. Only $1,000 is assessable, so they pay $325. Same gross return, half the tax bill. Plus, if those ETF units are in VAS or A200, they also receive franking credits that can lower tax further. The savings account holder misses all of that. This structural advantage compounds silently for decades. And now the question becomes, what does that difference actually look like after 20 years? That number is what we are about to show you. Part 4. The number that changes. How you see. 10 years. Let's run a 20-year comparison with everything stacked honestly. Lucy and Tom, both 30, earning $80,000, start with $20,000 and add $500 a month. Lucy uses a savings account averaging 4.5% after occasional missed bonuses. Tom buys a diversified ETF portfolio through Vanguard Direct and never tries to time the market. Assume a conservative 7% ETF return after fees. After 20 years, Lucy has roughly $265,000. Tom has around $430,000. That's a $165,000 difference. But the real gap is at retirement. Lucy's money is fully taxed as income each year and inflation has eaten its value. Tom can draw down gradually with the CGT discount, and franking credits reduce his tax bill. His retirement income stretches much further. This isn't about picking stocks. It's the result of a system where tax and inflation rules quietly favour one path. Rewind to Sarah on her floor in Brunswick, staring at a $6 interest payment. The bank never told her that the maths had already made her the loser. The shift to ETFs is simply opting out of that slow leak. No stock picking required. Just a simple, low-cost fund and an automatic investment each month. The only question left is whether your money is working for you or slowly evaporating while someone sends you a thank you note worth less than a sandwich. This is not anti-bank. Savings accounts make sense for your emergency fund. Cash you need safe and liquid in the next 6 to 12 months. But for the money building your future, the maths has shifted permanently. The gap between what a savings account promises and what it delivers after tax and inflation is the kind of knowledge that compounds for decades. Young Australians moving surplus cash into ETFs are not gamblers. They are people who did the quiet maths at their kitchen table late at night and decided they deserved better. This is information, not personal advice. Your own circumstances matter more than any general rule. If you have ever stared at a bank statement and felt that quiet, tired confusion Sarah felt, you already know which question to ask next.